Ciao, Bellezza! Today we're going to do stuffed peppers. I love this dish because my Zia, my aunt, Nonna's sister, taught me how to make this because I loved her stuffed pepper so much, and I said, could you please teach me how to do this? So when I lived in Italy, she taught me how to do this dish. So this is in honor of her. What you're going to need is a pound of meat. You're going to need more than, just three sweet peppers. You're probably going to need probably five, about just over a cup of rice, cup of real bread cut up into little squares. I don't do the crusts. We have some provolone cheese cut up into, little cubes here. It's about a cup. I have a quarter cup of fresh parsley. I do have some Pecorino Romano mixed in with Parmigiano Reggiano. This is roughly about, I would say, 3/4 of a cup. This is half a cup of onions. We have minced garlic. I have a teaspoon of salt, teaspoon of freshly ground pepper. I also have a teaspoon of garlic and onion powder because I like to infuse more flavor. 2 eggs. These are my homemade breadcrumbs. I may or may not use these. These will be used if I feel that it's too wet, and I'll put it in to dry it up a little bit. I don't think that's going to be an issue, but we'll have it there just in case. Here is a pound of meat, and we're going to put all the ingredients together. Let's do that. The first thing I like to do, believe it or not, is I like to put the spices in. I just want it to be able to burst with flavor as much as possible. So I like to start off with my salt, pepper, my garlic powder, my onion powder. Oop, doesn't want to move. And now I'll put in all of the fresh parsley. I'll put in the fresh onions, mix of Parmigiano Reggiano with the Pecorino Romano. Funny thing, I was just telling your dad today, I never realized, I don't know why I didn't realize this, but I never realized that Pecorino was sheep. I mean, I know it's sheep. I just didn't put the two together. It's just one of those things when you grow up with these things, it doesn't register. It's not like when you're learning a language, you dissect everything. It's just something I've always known. Okay, so we're going to put in a little bit of bread. Like we'll put half of the portion in now. And then we're going to put half of the rice because we just want to see how much do we really need. And then I'm going to put half of the cheese. Actually, I'm going to put it all in. Can't go wrong with cheese. Put the garlic. And now let's put the eggs in. That was a messy crack. Let's try it again. There we go. That's much better. And now we're just going to mix it all in. Mix all of this in. Now, if you ever feel that the mixture is too dry, I have a solution for you. Some people like to add a little bit of water. I like to add milk. It's a natural tenderizer for meat, and it just gives it a really nice consistency. Now, for those of you watching me do this, feel free to give me your ideas about how you make your own stuffed peppers. I mean, there's not just one way to do it. This is just the way our family does it. I'd love to give my daughter some tips. That'd be great. Always willing to learn some new things. I'm going to put the rest of the bread in. And I noticed I could use the rest of the rice. And what the bread does too, it kind of fluffs out the meat. I don't know if you've ever, cook a hamburger, for example. When you put that meat patty in, it's, all pressed together. It's not very airy and very light. The bread, the rice kind of adds a little texture, and it makes, and even the cheese makes it a little lighter, porous, I guess is the word I'm looking for, when you start cooking it. It looks perfect. Now we're going to stuff these peppers. Now this is the sauce, Nonna's sauce that I make. It's very universal. It's used for a lot of things. especially in our cuisine. This simple sauce, I use it for everything. If you know, I change the sauce up when I cook fish, which we'll get to, but not in this video. So I just put a little bit of a layer down there, and then I start stuffing these. And I'll just start putting them in like this. And it's okay if you stuff them tight because, like I said, they have enough things inside the rice, the cheese, the bread to make it porous so it'll cook through. And there's one. Just layer it down. Now I cut my peppers in half only because, you know, having a whole pepper for some people is a lot. Not everybody wants a whole stuffed pepper. So this way it cooks quicker and you don't have to feel like you need to finish the entire pepper. But you can do the whole pepper if you wish. It's all personal preference. This is how I do it, but you can do it however you want. Now I'm going to tell you something. If you ever run out of peppers, let's say, and you have extra filling and stuffing, I'm going to show you what you can do with that. Now, I don't have any more peppers, so what I do is I grab these and I make little meatballs, but I make them oval, little oval meatballs, just like this. And I put them in here. And they're just as flavorful. Obviously, you're not going to have the pepper flavor, but this mixture here is truly amazing. Aha, right there. We'll squeeze it in here, just like that. Now we're going to take nonna sauce and we're going to douse it with this yummy, yummy sauce. Now don't be afraid to put a lot. This has to cook. So it's going to need the juices. Now all we're going to do is drizzle some cheese. So just sprinkle some of this this pecorino and Parmigiano Reggiano, and it will be fine. Okay, so all we're going to do now is cover it up. Make a nice tight seal. And we're going to put it in the oven for about 30 minutes. I'm going to check it out in 30 minutes, see if it's done. If not, we'll add another 5 minutes and go from there. Oh, see? It's starting to bubble a little bit. It still needs more cooking time. Let's come back and check in 10. Bubbling up. Oh, that looks beautiful. Look at that. Wow, that looks great. So I'm just going to put it in for another minute or two, and then it'll be ready. I'm going to take one out. We should actually, you're supposed to let it sit for about 5 minutes just to let it cool down and stay close together again. But I'm just going to put one on a plate. Okay, here we go. Look at that. We'll do one of those and do one of these little meatballs that were extra. So here it is. Look at this. I wish you could smell it. It smells amazing. Look at that. Look at all the cheese inside. Look at all the juice. Amazing. You taste everything that's inside of there. It's so delicious. So that's how you make stuffed peppers. The way that my Zia made and in Italy when I grew up there. So I hope you enjoy this. I know you do. I know you love this. And I can't wait for you to make it for me. Alla prossima, bellezza. Ti voglio bene. Ciao, bella.